Dark Knight Part 4. You are returned to the source. Resolve yet unbroken by your trials in the first. On a visit to Ishgard and the Forgotten Knight, you meet Sidurgu and Riel. After regaling them with tales of your adventures, Sidurgu informs you that he has come into possession of an anonymous letter addressed to you. Whence did this missive come, and where will it lead you? Curiouser and curiouser. Thank you for the follow, Coney. And hello. I've thought about the path and whether I want to walk it myself someday. But after everything that happened with Mist, I think I might want to pursue Conjury instead. Sometimes we have to do bad things for good reasons. I know that, I do. But I'd still rather try to avoid it if I can. If I was a better healer, then maybe I'd have more options, or something. The Pajal, Isumion, I could write him a letter. You do not speak English. Sorry to hear that. You may struggle with my stream then, because I don't speak anything but English. Our closure. They will tell you you are one and you are two. You can choose. Okay. I don't know what the... Speaking of not understanding English. Hey, get off the table. What kind of establishment do you think this is? Ah, Lavenza. It so happens I have a letter for you. But before we talk about that, mind telling me what you've been getting yourself into lately? You and your scions, I mean. I have an inkling, perhaps. I went and saved another world, as it happens. Had to go and kill a whole host of sin eaters. I think the first one is more straight to the point. Come again? Reflections of the Source? Parallel worlds? Sin eaters? What in the seven hells are you on about? Something tells me this is only going to make any kind of sense if you walk me through it from the beginning, step by step. Right then. So, to sum up, you were swept up into yet another realm-shaking conflict, were you? Well, of course you were. You've an insatiable hunger for it, don't you? And even when you bite off more than you can chew, you refuse to let go. What? As if you didn't know. Hells, from the moment I laid eyes on you, I suspected you were a particular blend of impulsive and stubborn. Takes a special kind of bastard to become a Dark Knight, much less a warrior of light, don't you think? You traveled unto a doomed world and pledged your sword to a futile cause. You fought and you fought and you fought, and in the end, you won the day. Though I know it wasn't without loss, without sacrifice. Victories like that are always bought with blood. But you and your comrades paid that price all the same. That faraway land and her people live on because you all were willing to fight to the bitter end. Because you were too stubborn to die. I think that pretty much sums up the Warrior of Light, you know, in that last part of 5.0. And because of love, I'm sure. Being grim and dark will only get you so far. Don't you remember? It's like the Mughals, like Sir Ampane himself said. The flame in the abyss. The love you bear for the ones you hold most dear. That is the source of true strength. Lavenza could have never made it this far if her heart wasn't filled to the brim with love. Is this a roundabout way of asking me about my heart's desires? I'd sooner pose that question to Sid. Choices, choices. Yeah, I want to know about Sid. Let's not say we did, huh? I'm sure that Thancred fellow you mentioned would provide a far more meaningful and interesting response. Having to look after the reincarnation of his surrogate daughter is certainly... Though I suppose on some level I can relate. What? I've not once thought of you as my father. Oh, God. Well, no, I mean, we're not even the same race, so of course no one would ever ever look at us and assume. What? If you want to put a label on it, then what would you prefer? Master and disciple? Manservant and noblewoman? Sid. How about Chocobo's arse and whatever you damn well like? God, you can be daft sometimes. Hey! What did I tell you about calling me that? Children, am I right? Best we give her a moment to cool her head. For now, let's talk about that letter I mentioned earlier. It's addressed to you. But who penned it, I cannot say. It was delivered to me by a young woman of the Broom. Looney, I believe her name was. Said she had seen us with you out and about in Ishgard before, and reckoned that if she left it with us, you'd eventually be around to pick it up. Before you ask, no, I have not taken a peek, so its contents remain a complete and utter mystery to me. As for the sender, you'll have to pester Looney at the Holy Stables if you want to know more. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have an angry girl to mollify. All the while not knowing what the hell mollify means. Within the sealed envelope is a paper, which you unfold to find a message written in a strangely familiar scrawl. Lavenza Shark, you'll forgive me for the sudden correspondence and the secrecy. You helped me, in a way, once upon a time. It's past time I said as much, and so, here we are. Feels like a lifetime ago, come to think of it. You've been through quite a lot since then. Accomplished incredible things. I'd like to think that, in some way, I was a part of your journey. Far from the best, no doubt. But for me and my own journey, I think it's safe to say that you've been, well... There's no suitable words to describe it, really. I've done things, made decisions. Looking back, I can't help but feel more than a little foolish. But such is life, and we have to seize what few opportunities we have for closure. Even if it is through the written word and not face to face. So wherever you are, I hope you're happy. Still fighting, still adventuring, still doing what you love. Be well. The letter bears no signature or any obvious clues as to the author's identity. Perhaps Looney can shed light on this mystery. Yeah, I can't even figure out from the letter who it is. So where is Looney? Oh yeah, they're over at the... Come on. Hitting all the wrong buttons. It's you. It's really you. Lavenza Shark, my hero. Honestly, I never thought I'd get to see you again, much less speak with you. Oh, I'm sorry. You probably don't remember me at all, do you? I'm not surprised. All in a day's work, I suppose, saving silly little fools like me. And it was so long ago when you rescued me from those temple knights who were trying to take me away from my grandmother. Oh! I still remember it like it was yesterday, though. You swinging that great big sword of yours, bellowing all kinds of terrible threats and sending them running. I'm sure some might say you overdid it, but thanks to you, my grandmother and I never heard from that lot again. And ever since Sir Emmerich and his allies came into power, we've had a lot less of that trouble all over. But let me guess, you didn't come all this way just to see me, did you? Unsigned letter, leaving everyone at a loss as to who could have penned it. The letter, huh? I thought so. It wasn't me who wrote it, I can tell you that much. I got it from a knight I befriended after tending to his chocobo a couple of times. Sir Patronade. He said it was to be delivered to the hero of the Scions, a peerless warrior with 1,000 victories to her name. After he described your features in detail, it all fell into place. And since I was certain you'd eventually pay a visit to your friends, I offered to take it to them. Anyway, he's the one you need to talk to if you're after the sender. Maybe check the congregation? I mean, that's where knights congregate, I presume. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't recognize her name at first, but now I know who she is. And then there's this knight dude, which I certainly don't recognize his name. Oh. It's like there's an upstairs to this place. I never even noticed the staircase. You... how may I be of service to you, Mr. Shark? The letter? Oh, what a relief it is to see that it arrived unmolested. It was entrusted to me by Orella of Ralger's Reach. After the battle at the Gimlet Dark, I spent a few nights there, you see. I can only assume that whoever sent it to the Reach had heard tell of the battle between you and Lord Xenos, and how you had been brought to the Barber. However, by the time it arrived, you had long since been spirited away to Ishgard. Had Looney not recognized you from my stories, I do not know how I might have seen it to your hand. If you seek the author, mayhap you should pay a visit to the Reach. I know only what I told you, but surely Orella can tell you more. May the Fury watch over and keep you, friend. This is interesting because I don't remember any of this. To be honest, I don't really remember most of the level 80 quests. The only thing I can say I do kind of remember is the cutscene at the end of the Dancer one, because the Dancer was the first one I did. But I don't really remember really any of the other level 80 quests. And I certainly don't remember it being this long. Oh, and there's the new mount. A pleasure to see you. Lost that long-haired boy of yours again? Oh, this is... Is this talking about the Stormblood Dark Knight quest? I would assume so. That's the only boy we've lost. This is about the letter, is it? It came with a shipment of supplies from Little Alamigo, as I recall. I can only presume the sender was hoping that Commander Hex would see it to you personally, but I'm not surprised it escaped her notice given the chaos at the Gimlet Dark and after. It found its way into my medical supplies, and as you well know, I decided to let that Ishgardian Knight take charge of its delivery. In any event, I advise you to continue your search in Little Alamigo. And if anyone there knows aught of the letter's author, it would be Gundabald. Man, this is a real... I don't even know what to call this. It's just a... I guess a wild goose chase, or... Well met, Lavenza. I was not expecting a visit. What brings you to Southern Thanalin this day? This letter, you say? And you seek the author? If you read it, or if you read it, then you know their heart. What you meant to them. How you changed their life for the better. It is a feeling I understand all too well, which is why I agreed to send this letter with the supplies for Rhalgr's Reach. Yet you never were one to let a mystery remain unsolved, were you? You seek answers, closure. I will not deny you this. At the Red Rooster Stead in Lower Lenosha, you will find a man named Godaherd. Speak with him. Perhaps then you will find a measure of peace. This is quite the wild goose chase. Yeah, lower. Yeah, I have no idea. And the fact that it keeps bouncing us around from place to place, it's so funny too, because this is content that, I mean, I did it like 2 years ago, but still. Oh. I remember older content better than I do this. Oh gods, it's you. But why? Why are you here? You you really don't remember any of it? The Kikern bandits? A certain merchant who may have overstepped his bounds just a trifle? You were a right bloody mess when you returned to the dry docks with my wares. Oh, and I do mean bloody. I say, is none of what I'm telling you ringing a bell? Really? No, it does now. Probably the worst telling off I think we had done. Not even the part where I refused to thank you and demanded that you pay me restitution for the property you yourself returned to me? Well, seeing as I've already confessed it, I may as well reiterate, it was me. I can guarantee, probably one of the reasons I don't remember this is I didn't remember this dude. I can guarantee you I did not remember this dude. The first time I did this quest. Because again, I would have done this back in the very beginning of Heavensward. The quest with him. That was just the beginning of my bad luck as it happens. A string of bad decisions left me in debt to some very unforgiving fellows. And before I knew it, they had taken damn near everything I owned. I was friendless, penniless, hopeless. And let me tell you, running afoul of the Warrior of Light had not done me any favors either. There was a time when I couldn't help but blame you for all my misfortune. And then one day, when I was rummaging through my meager possessions, I had an epiphany. I stumbled upon a package from that shipment you recovered for me that ill-fated day. Flower bulbs stained with Kikern blood, but viable for cultivation, still brimming with the potential to grow and thrive. Before I knew it, I was cradling the package to my breast, sobbing and moaning like a mad fool. For a fool is exactly what I had been. I had been offered a kindness without let or lien, and instead of thanking this generous hero, had spat in her face. So I left that life behind, save for the bulbs I brought with me here, apprenticed myself to the botanist, and resolved to start anew. And wouldn't you know it, the stubborn little fiends finally bloomed for me. I suppose it's only fitting that you'd show up again that very day. I've 1,000 regrets, but none greater than how I spoke to you. I say this not to beg your forgiveness, but to tell you how you've changed me for the better, and to thank you for the opportunity. You'll probably notice a change in us, too. I do have one request, if you are amenable to it. I pray you accept a flower, one of the precious few that has bloomed. A token of my heartfelt appreciation for my personal savior. Admittedly, this particular breed is perhaps best suited for funerals and farewells, but if you'd rather not keep it for yourself, perhaps there's someone else who might welcome it. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Someone else indeed. Yeah, it's interesting because the last time this dude saw us, we were not a friendly person. So I think we would come across quite different to them as well. I am so grateful that I finally had the chance to apologize to you. I but wish that the flowers I have to offer you were not the sort primarily associated with mournful occasions. Okay, so enter Frey. To call out your comrade in Kurthis Central Highlands. Okay. Yeah, there's definitely more to this quest than I expected. Because I can tell you I don't remember any of it, so I can't say more than I remember. There is no response. Yet there can be no answer but this, can there? So let us wait for a time, you and I, in the cold and in the snow, in the dark. So is that an indication to go there, I guess? Or no? Clever, clever, clever. Or are we just playing it by ear? No matter? I wanted this once, more than anything, a chance to speak and be heard. But neither of us needs it anymore. And if we were to look deep within ourselves, we would realize that we never did. We are the stories we tell ourselves. The brave hero, the tortured soul, the altruist, the pragmatist. They will tell you who they see, but you and you alone know who you are. For I speak only for myself. If you find comfort in my words, they are yours for the taking, but that is your choice, now and ever after, as it has always been. Now comes your part, to cloak yourself in the fiction, to breathe life into the dead, to give a voice to the voiceless. As we did together that day, when you give us our answer. Or when you gave us our answer. Was it ever mine? I've got to be honest, this stuff's a little bit heady for me. I have a hard time keeping up with exactly what... Like, what was that trying to say? Um... Yeah, it's... I mean, I just kind of take it as accepting ourselves. Maybe a bit of accepting our inner demons or whatever. I don't fully know. I mean, it was a nice moment. My apologies for storming off earlier. You'd think I would be more mature than that, after everything I've been through. Welcome back, Lavenza. As you can see, Riel and I are getting along swimmingly, so you needn't worry about us in the slightest. Not one bit. So, what of that mysterious unsigned letter? Did your grand search for answers lead you anywhere interesting? An old acquaintance. Closure, perhaps? So again, this leads me... It's just... the acceptance, I guess, of that other side of me. Essentially, kind of acknowledging the shadow, as it were. That's so. Well, glad to hear it, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, that's what I can take from it is... it's just kind of a final acceptance of... Well, acceptance and remembrance of that part of ourself. At least that's what I get out of it. It almost gets a little poetic in there in some of the dialogue, and that stuff always loses me. I don't know what it is about like poetry and stuff. It's... yeah, I don't know. But this was nice. I mean, if nothing else, you know, it was nice to see our inner self again or whatever. And then particularly, you know, to actually go back and then this time around to actually recognize, you know, the dude that we cursed out or whatever early on. Because as I said, I am confident I did not remember that dude at all first time through. So it was cool now going back through it all again and being able to know who's being talked about. And again, I've mentioned that many times. There's a lot of conversations that you know, a name would get brought up or something, and I'd be like, okay, sure, I know them. Or now I actually do. I mean, sometimes I don't recognize the name, like the Looney or whatever, but I recognize her once I meet her again. But yeah, this was cool, and definitely there was more substance to it than I remember of any of the job quests, the level 80 ones. So I liked it. Thank you for watching this video. Tonight's stream was a bit longer than I was expecting, but we finished up 5.1, and if you know 5.1, you know at the end it's like, oh, here's a sequence of cutscenes, and then it's like, oh, you get to play as Justinian, and I forgot about that, and it was great. It was great. Just, yeah. So, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed this. And, if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. And, If you want to come join me live, link to my Twitch is in the description down below. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you have a good one.